Multifamily Mindset
podcast. Think bigger.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the MFM podcast. My name is Dallas Pruitt, and super grateful to be here with you on another Thursday episode here on the podcast, diving into some specifics that have been pulled out of the interview earlier this week with Anna Fernandez. Anna is an amazing individual, and we're super grateful to have her on the podcast. It was wonderful to hear her story, a story of perseverance, a story of forging through some failures and some great adversity that came during not just COVID, but lots of different segues of her professional and personal career. It's wonderful to just have these students here on the podcast and be able to see your own situation and your own struggles in their stories. Many of our stories of success, triumph, fulfillment, they're just eerily similar, different details, same principles. And that's what we're trying to do here, is to dive into these exact principles that continue to help not just Anna find success in her ventures, but everyone find success in their ventures. These principles are universal, and we hope to give you some tactical, strategic things that you can do and take action on right out of the gate after listening to these episodes on Thursday. So here we go. We're going to dive in. I want to talk about specifically her COVID experience and her managing her business throughout that process, and her mind shift, her mental focus, if you will, and how it was on others at that time and not herself. And I want to speak to that because it's very easy for us as people to, in times of adversity and challenge, to go inward and think about ourselves. And really, the unlock a lot of the time is to actually look outward, look to others and helping them through hard times, through adversity, through challenge, and showing up and showing out for them. Some of the questions that you can ask yourself if you find yourself in a situation right now that feels all-encompassing, that is, maybe you're experiencing a lot of adversity right now in your business building process, similar to what Anna was experiencing, maybe not to that magnitude because COVID was a different beast, but maybe that's you right now. And if that is you, or when you find yourself in the future in that place, because if you're striving to do great things, you're going to find yourself in that space, ask yourself, come back to these questions. How can I help in this situation that I'm in? What can I do today, this week, that will have a positive impact on all of this we are experiencing in my own life and in the lives, this is the most important part, and in the lives of all of these other people that are around me. Anna also spoke to her superpower that she has been able to build in her life, and that is the superpower of gratitude and being thankful even for the mistakes that she's made and that maybe other people have made around her that have had a direct impact on her. This is tough. This is tough to do against, especially when you get to a point of adversity and struggle. And what I want to share here is that, and this is just a plug-in, we have the Think Bigger Journal to provide you as an amazing resource and daily tool to help you amplify not just this superpower, but all the parts of the process that are crucial for you to create success in your endeavors. Because again, when you choose to bite off a big goal and go after it, you're also choosing all of the adversity and challenge that comes with doing that. And so gratitude has to be a center focus every day, because every day is going to be challenging in some ways. And so being able to take 5 minutes during the day, 5 minutes during the night before you go to bed as part of that morning routine and that evening routine, it's a really important step that you can take every single day to help you amplify your efforts, help you amplify your process, help you amplify your attitude, your perspective. And it doesn't take a lot. Again, that's why we've included it as one of the systems in the Think Bigger Journal. Hey guys, It's Dallas Pruitt, resident mindset coach and consultant at the Multifamily Mindset. You and your goals are our biggest priority, and we wanted to let you know about an amazing tool we've created to help you achieve greater success in your pursuits. It's called the Think Bigger Journal, and right now we're offering 30% off to our podcast listeners. This journal is an effective and efficient everyday tool designed to help you make the most of your days and feed your priorities. The daily and weekly frameworks are strategically designed to help you defeat distraction and feed real, sustainable progress towards your most important goals. This journal is backed by positive psychology. It's simple to use, easy to integrate into your day-to-day, and yields powerful results. You can go to the link in today's show notes and grab a copy today. And again, make sure you use code MFMPodcast, all one word, for 30% off your next purchase. Okay, fear and trusting your gut is something she talked about with Cindy this past week, and I want to give you some really important points here because intuition or trusting your gut, this can be a very difficult task to know the difference between fear and trusting your gut, or fear and intuition. It can be really confusing. And I don't know if you're like me, but I used to hear people say stuff like that, like trust your gut. And then I'd find myself in those inflection points in my own life where I was like, is this my gut telling me I should do this? Or is this fear speaking super loud to me right now? And I want to share some ways that hopefully help you differentiate between the two. And that's going to be really the main focus of the remainder of the podcast today, is helping you decipher between fear. Is this fear talking, or is this my intuition? Is this my gut telling me? And so I'm going to go through some bullets here. The first is energy. Pay attention to energy. Fear feels like a pushing energy. Fear feels like something's pushing you, while intuition feels like something's pulling you. Something is magnetically drawing you in. Fear can also feel like high speed or unsettled or chaotic, while intuition feels light, it feels airy, and it feels affirming. There's a big difference between those. Let's go to the next bullet. The next bullet is source. So fear can come from a default pattern or a default energy pattern inside of you, which is based on your past experiences and survival patterns that you have created throughout the course of your experience. Whereas intuition can come from sourced energy, right? Which is when you're connected to, some people call it your inner true self, God, the Spirit, His will for you, all of these things. That is intuition, whereas fear, again, is a default pattern or a default energy pattern, which is based off of past experience, trauma, survival patterns. Let's go to the next bullet, feelings. Feelings to pay attention to. Fear can feel stressful and anxious, while intuition can feel like calm, certainty. This can be tricky, right? Our nervous systems get hijacked all the time. Fear can also make you feel panicked and overwhelmed, while intuition is generally curious and open. And look, you've heard me say this in the past, and I want to actually come back to it, and I don't want to get anybody confused here. Growing is hard work. It requires you to step outside of your comfort zone. And when you step outside of your comfort zone, you're going to feel stressed. You're going to feel anxious. And you're going to have to find ways to continue to move forward doing things scared anyways. Now, what I want to say here is when you get outside of a certain threshold, of stress and anxiety, it actually becomes extremely detrimental to your process. It's living on that fringe, living on that boundary and incrementally stretching it over and over and over again over time. That's why I say growth is strategic. It happens by design, not by luck. But when it comes to fear and intuition, again, paying attention to your feelings is a powerful tactic, and knowing the difference between fearful feelings and intuition-based feelings. Fearful feelings are more stressful, heightened anxiety. And again, keeping in mind that you're going to feel a little bit scared when you try new things. But intuition actually is calm and certain, less panicked, and generally it's curious and open. Body language. We got 2 more. Body language. Fear can cause you to feel extremely tense, as if your muscles are just constricting and gripping. You might hunch your shoulders. You might grit your teeth and your cheeks and your neck muscles. That is fear, right? Pay attention to your body language. And then your inner critic, that inner self dialogue. Fear can be that voice that is your inner critic saying just super detrimental things, extremely loud when you try to step outside of your comfort zone. And that's those limiting thoughts, those limiting beliefs. Paying attention to those. That's fear speaking. Your intuition will tell you the truth, meaning you're capable, you can do this, this is the right direction, good job, keep going. You're new to this, you don't need to be perfect, whereas that critic is like, hey, stop, this is dangerous, you stink, you're going to look like a fool, don't do this, you should be embarrassed. That is fear. Hopefully those 5 bullets and those small breakdowns give you a little more oomph to go back to your own process and better identify when fear is speaking and when it's your gut or intuition that's speaking to you. I think this is one of the most powerful skill sets that we can learn as leaders of our businesses and leaders of our lives, is how to decipher between when adversity is speaking, when the adversary is speaking, when fear is speaking, when the dark is speaking, and when the light, when God, when good is telling us, no, you've got this. This is the direction. Keep going. Trusting your gut. It's a powerful thing. I wanted to close out really quick with this. This is just simple to end things out. So one, again, thank you to Anna for her guest appearance on the podcast earlier this week. She's a very valuable member and asset to this network. But she mentioned her 3 C's, and I highly recommend, I'm not going to cover them all in depth. You should go back and listen to her episode because she did a great job of doing this. But I want to cover all 3 of them because I think they're great reminders of what it takes to find success, and that is commitment, courage, and clarity. She did a great job of breaking these things down, but I want to give 3 resources just because I love sharing some resources with you all. I think it's valuable. I think it's very valuable for your process. I think it's very valuable for your success in your multifamily journeys. So, and careers. So here you go. On a commitment level, if you're looking for a resource to help you enhance your level of commitment, there is a book, The Mountain Is You by Brianna Weist. It's a great resource. I highly recommend you add it to your library. As far as courage goes and enhancing your levels of courage, Courage is Calling by Ryan Holiday is an amazing book I read last year that I absolutely loved and came at a critical juncture or pivot point in my life where it was much needed. Highly recommend you add that resource to your library if you're looking for a resource on courage. And if you're looking to enhance your levels of clarity for your life and your business, for your vision, and everything that you're working towards, Think Again by Adam Grant is also a great resource that I would highly suggest you add to your library. So there you have it, my friends. We'll close out with those resources. And again, thank you for being a part of this podcast. Thank you for being a part of this community. We're grateful, as always, to have you here. And we will see you guys back here on the podcast next time.
Multifamily Mindset.
Podcast. Think bigger.